Hello everyone, I'm Idiotic Ice Cube and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'll be going over every single detail and feature that we currently know about Blue Protocol. And I do mean every single detail and feature. I may not be that in depth, but I will try to cover as much content as I can. Before we begin, however, I do want to say I'm not sponsored, but big thank you to the Blue Protocol database, since they're a really useful source if you do want to know more about Blue Protocol. I'll have their website and Discord in the description below if you want to check them out. Another thing to know is that Blue Protocol is currently in development, and as such, any data I do present here is subject to change in the future. Blue Protocol is an anime MMORPG that is currently in development by Bandai Namco, who is a pretty big game developer in Japan and abroad, having made games such as the Tales franchise and the entire Tekken franchise. Blue Protocol will be published in Japan by Bandai Namco, Korea by Smilegate, Macau, Taiwan, and Hong Kong by Cayenne Tech, and the Americas, Europe, and New Zealand by Amazon Games. Setting-wise, we don't know much yet, but we do know that Blue Protocol is set in the world of Ragnos, a world that has been growing closer to its own destruction due to endless conflict and overreach technology that has been going on for at least 1,000 years. Your character wakes up without their memories, and meets a pair of dimensional beings who claim their goal is to release Avalicia, a monster from ancient legend. Your character has to recover the memories and save Ragnos using the power of the Flux, a mysterious light that seems to grant powers. Blue Protocol enjoys a massive array of choices when it comes to your physical appearance, with a plethora of hairstyles and colors, eye colors/shapes, and more to choose from. You can change your appearance anytime in the salon, although you will need a ticket to do so. There also exists a dye shop that allows you to add colors to your clothing to express yourself a little more. As for how to obtain salon tickets and dyes, look for the monetization section of this video. To further express your creativity, there's also a photo mode that lets you freeze your character in certain animations and use a moving camera to allow for a ton of different angles. If you want to see your current character in a previous cutscene, there's also a theater that allows you to replay cutscenes with your current character appearance. The current friend system consists of sending your character card to other people and accepting other people's character cards to add them to your friends list. Your character card functions sort of like a business card mixed with a social media profile, where you have a main picture, your own description, and your level. Additionally, you can add 3 supplementary pictures to your adventure card to express yourself a little more. All these pictures are taken via the previously mentioned photo mode. In terms of gameplay, Blue Protocol is a third-person MMORPG, just like Phantasy Star Online. The world map currently consists of Asterleads, which is a starting city, Asteria Plains, and the Bajamor or Bahamor Highlands. I have no idea how it's pronounced. There are also missions and dungeons in the open world that you can infinitely repeat over and over again to get the rewards. To help with more casual players who might not have the time to consistently grind out those missions and dungeons, there is a Rewards Plus system that allows you to gain double rewards from a single mission or dungeon run with the use of a ticket. You can hold up to 10 tickets max, and you can gain them by 3 methods: passively waiting, participating in certain game events, or by buying them. The rate for gaining these tickets is not known. In addition to dungeons, there are also raid battles where 40 players work together to defeat one big raid boss in the open world. As for dungeons themselves, you have to defeat mobs in one room to progress to the next room, and you repeat this until you reach the final boss of the dungeon. Upon defeating the final boss of the dungeon, you will receive your rewards, and if you defeat every single enemy in the dungeon, you will receive bonus rewards. In addition to dungeons and raids for materials and loot, there also exists the Unbroken Tower, which is a dungeon complex where you have to clear a certain number of floors in a set amount of time, with 12 revives being available. To progress to the next floor, you need to fulfill the objective and interact with the teleporter. There are also multiple difficulty levels to the tower. Blue Protocol has a large emphasis on teamwork, with the option to form parties via direct invite, the quick party system, the recruitment list system, and the matching system for missions and dungeons. The quick party system lets you party up with nearby players in the open world. The recruitment list system allows you to create a party and search for / invite other players to join your party. Lastly, the matching system is similar to games like Genshin Impact or Tower Fantasy, where it matches you up with random people who also wish to do the same mission or dungeon you want to do. There is also the team system, which is essentially the guild system in every MMO. As the members of the team play more, the team can level up, with each level increasing the max number of members by 5, and also granting bonuses, which will be revealed and added after the game's release. To aid with progression in-game, there's also an adventure board that works as a mission tree, where completing one mission will unlock more missions that will all grant you items, XP, and stamps to use in chat when they're completed. In combat, you have multiple skills that you unlock via a skill tree system. You can equip up to 4 skills plus 1 ultimate ability max, all of which will go on cooldown upon usage, unlike a game like Lost Ark where you need to do damage to build up your ultimate. As with most other video games, you also have an HP bar, and there's also a stamina bar which is depleted when you use certain skills, dodge, or jump. Blue Protocol currently features 5 classes, and they are the Aegis Fighter, also called the Blade Warden, the Twin Striker, the Blast Archer, also called the Keen Strider, the Spellcaster, also called the Spell Weaver, and the Heavy Smasher, which is also called the Foe Breaker. The Aegis Fighter, also called the Blade Warden, uses a sword and shield to parry attacks in combat. This class functions as the primary tank class in the game, and has abilities that draw aggro from enemies. They also have a counter gauge, which decreases each time you block or parry an incoming attack. If your counter gauge goes to 0, you will no longer be able to block or parry. This class's ultimate is a self buff that instantly refills your counter gauge, buffs your defense, grants super armor, and HP regeneration. In addition to those buffs, you also temporarily unlock a second gauge that, if filled, will replenish your own buff durations, while also granting those exact same buffs to your party mates. The Twin Striker uses twin axes to deal lots of damage and functions as the primary consistent DPS class. This class features a combo gauge, which starts at 100% and goes up as you proceed to do more damage to a maximum of 125%. This percent increase represents your damage multiplier, meaning at a full combo gauge of 125%, you'll be doing 25% more damage than normal. There are skills that you can equip that consume a certain percent of your combo gauge to do more damage. This class also has the unique ability to grant themselves lifesteal, being able to heal themselves by doing damage. This class's ultimate is an attack that just does a load of damage. The Blast Archer, also called the Keen Strider, uses a bow and arrow to do consistent range damage from afar. Out of all the current classes in Blue Protocol, this class has the most support abilities, and has the capabilities to heal and buff their teammates, while also doing AoE damage and debuffing enemies. This class's unique ability is their ability to heal teammates, as shown with the bar above the HP bar in this clip shown. As that bar levels up, you will be able to heal your teammates for more. To do more individual damage to enemies, you can aim at enemies and charge your arrow shots to do more damage, with the help of an ability that allows you to lock onto enemies. This class also has the unique ability to hit weak points, which do more damage, and can dodge roll right before or after taking a hit, reducing or nullifying the damage taken. This class's ultimate ability is a zone that continuously pulls all enemies into the center of it. The Spellcaster, aka the Spell Weaver, uses a magical staff to charge up and unleash large amounts of AoE damage. Compared to the Twin Strikers, that function primarily as a consistent, more single target focused DPS. The Spellcaster is an AoE burst DPS that does a load of damage in quick bursts, but doesn't do a lot of damage in the downtime between abilities. This class is apparently quite hard to learn early game, but does really well late game and with a party or team to play with. While not showing the clip, the Spellcaster also uses EP, which I'm assuming is similar to a mana gauge, to use their skills. Likely to compensate for this EP system, Spellcaster abilities do not have a cooldown. Since Spellcasters specialize in doing elemental damage, they have a lot of versatility in terms of what builds they can run. Additionally, all of their skills will become stronger if you charge them up. To aid in mobility, this class and the Blast Archer have the ability to leap off of enemies to create distance. This class's ultimate ability is dropping a literal meteor from the sky to crush your enemies. The last class that's in Blue Protocol is the Heavy Smasher, aka the Foe Breaker, who uses a cannon hammer thingy to smash and shoot their enemies to oblivion. This class works primarily as a sub-tank compared to the Aegis Fighter's role as a main tank, and the Heavy Smasher is more suited to protecting the backline by knocking enemies away instead of tanking the damage like an Aegis Fighter would. This class's moves are quite slow, so you will need to be methodical with your timing of your skills and attacks. This class's unique feature is the cartridge system, where your weapon will have a set amount of cartridges at the start, and upon using certain skills, you will consume a certain number of cartridges. To replenish your cartridges, you will need to reload, and if you reload with 0 cartridges remaining, you will get 2 bonus cartridges, along with a slew of buffs and effects. This class's ultimate ability involves smashing the hammer into the ground, stunning any enemy hit. So it's basically Reinhardt's Earthshatter. Along with the skill tree to unlock class unique abilities, you also have the ability to share skills with other classes, although I'm not sure how that will work. Additionally, you can also change classes at any time. Bandai Namco has stated that they will not be adding PvP, since they want to fully flesh out the PvE aspect. Additionally, Bandai Namco has also said that it's hard to make PvP and PvE enthusiasts get along. In combat, there's also the Elemental Burst system, where both you and the enemy can use elemental skills or attacks on each other to increase the burst gauge. There are 6 elements that are currently in Blue Protocol: Fire, Ice, Lightning, Light, and Dark. The gauge can level up to 3 times, with levels 1 and 2 afflicting a status condition on you or the enemy, depending on who is hitting who. The current status conditions are: Fire, which causes a damage over time effect. Ice lowers the victim's movement speed. Lightning has a chance to cause a paralysis effect, although the chances are said to be pretty low. Earth lowers the victim's defenses, causing them to take more damage. Light lowers the victim's attack, causing them to deal less damage. Finally, Dark has a chance to cause blindness, making them miss their attack. Upon hitting level 3, the elements become a burst, and the effects are: Fire, which stuns enemies and does a load of damage. Ice, which freezes enemies and then does damage. Lightning, which stuns enemies, does damage, and then guarantees paralysis. Earth, which freezes enemies in place and then does damage. Light, which stuns enemies, does damage and creates a zone that provides AoE healing. Lastly, a Dark Burst stuns enemies, does damage, and then provides lifesteal to the afflictor. So essentially, if you did the Dark Burst, then you will receive lifesteal. If the enemy does Dark Burst to you, then they will receive the lifesteal. One very important thing to note is that this system works both ways between you and the enemy, meaning a raid boss can also cause a Dark Burst, for example, and have lifesteal. But you can also do the same thing by consistently doing dark damage to the raid boss. In terms of equipment in Blue Protocol, you have weapons and imagines. You craft your weapon with materials from dungeon bosses and the open world. Higher tier / stronger items will require materials from harder dungeons and more difficult open world areas. Each weapon has a certain number of sockets, and as you craft weapons, you have a chance of a great success, which will add more sockets or add bonus effects. There are items that can be purchased in the shop to increase the odds of a great success. The sockets are used for plugs, which add additional effects or buffs to your weapon when equipped. Plugs are obtained from missions as a reward, the adventure board, and certain events. Plugs cannot be purchased in the shop, but tickets to transfer or move plugs from a different weapon to another weapon can be purchased in the shop. Imagines, also called echoes, are equipment that you obtain from defeating enemies that you can later use for battle and in the open world. There are 3 types of echoes: inner echoes, battle echoes, and mount echoes. Battle echoes are active skills that can be seen in your hotbar, and it summons the creature's echo to deal damage and boost your stats. Inner imagines replace what is normally seen as armor in an MMO, and passively boost your stats. Lastly, everyone starts with the same mount imagine, but more can be obtained from the cash shop. Mount imagines are a typical MMO mount, and it allows you to move way faster than running. In the open worlds and cities themselves, you'll find a lot of things. In the open world, you'll find the usual monsters and harvestables. There are also camps where portals can be activated to allow for fast travel, and there are places where you can relax, restore health, and talk to other players. In each camp, there's also a traveling chef who will give you free buffs depending on the color of their outfit. In addition to camps and the usual in the open world, there are also happy nappos that you can find to unlock achievements. In cities, they have the single best feature in the entire game. You can pet and play with animals. Because who doesn't want to do that? Additionally, you can also fish at certain locations, and you can sell that fish for a little extra money. For now, Blue Protocol doesn't have that many lifestyle skills, which are skills like farming and cooking. but Bandai Namco is planning on adding more lifestyle skills on or after release. Additionally, they're also going to add a housing system. In terms of channels, you can't manually change your channel, but channel space will be reserved for you if you're in a party, since you and your party obviously need to be in the same channel to play together. Speaking of channel space, the maximum number of members in each channel is 200 for large cities, 30 for open field areas, 6 for each mission or dungeon because that's the maximum number of members in a party, 30 for raids, I'm sorry about lying earlier, it's not 40, it's 30 members per raid, and 1 for time attack runs. Time attack runs are where you have to speedrun a certain course as quickly as possible. Finally, we've reached what is the most discussed topic currently about Blue Protocol, the monetization system. Blue Protocol will be completely free to play, and there will be no subscription fee unlike games like Final Fantasy XIV and World of Warcraft. However, there is a cash shop, battle pass, and gacha system. Completing missions and raids will give you season points that will level up the battle pass. Season points aren't consumed when leveling up the battle pass, but do serve as XP for it. So, for example, let's say, hypothetically, you would need X points to reach level 2 of the battle pass. Upon reaching level 2, you would keep X points needed, so you would keep all your points. These season points are for use in the season shop, where you can purchase various rewards. The level cap of the free battle pass is 60, and you have fewer missions available. There are 2 variants of the paid battle pass, the level cap being 100 for both. The cheaper version, the advanced pass, gives access to the paid version of the battle pass, and gives more missions and provides a certain amount of unspecified benefits. The more expensive version, the Royal Pass, gives the benefits of the advanced pass, plus 25 levels to the battle pass instantly. The premium currency is called a Rose Orb, and every other monetization system, aside from the battle pass point related stores, use Rose Orbs as their currency. The items that we know are currently available from spending Rose Orbs include cosmetics such as cat ears/tails, special dyes and emotes, tickets for helping with equipment such as moving plugs and increasing the rate of a great success when you're crafting a weapon, single-use tickets from the Reward Plus system to double your rewards from a certain mission or dungeon, tickets to skip active quests, single-use boost items such as XP or in-game currency boosts, along with healing potions, stamps to use in chat and special social items such as firecrackers, mount skins, although it should be noted that these mount skins are purely cosmetic and will not provide any stat bonuses. And lastly, a name change ticket, although there is a cooldown between purchases. In addition to obtaining cosmetics directly from the shop, there's also a gacha system that is exclusively for cosmetics, which is exactly the same thing you would see in Phantasy Star Online 2. Turns out I forgot 2 things. So first, here are the system requirements for Blue Protocol. Unfortunately, I probably won't be able to play the highest graphics, because I have a 5600X. Truly sad moment. I also forgot to talk about the Battle Arena, which is a place where you and your party or group of friends can work together to defeat a certain number of enemies that come in waves as quickly as you can. And that's another form of endgame content. Now that covers everything that I've researched about Blue Protocol. I definitely did miss a few things, especially because I can't read Japanese, so I probably missed out on some finer details. But if I did miss anything, please let me know in the comments. Additionally, if you're also excited for a certain feature, learn something new, or have anything to say in general, also comment that down below. Personally, I'm super excited for the free-to-play and PvE model, and especially the cel-shaded graphics. Anyways, feel free to like or subscribe, or don't, I don't care.